Welcome to a special edition of the Vine Resources podcast show. I'm absolutely delighted today to have with me Rob Burgess. Rob is the editor and founder of Head for Points. Rob, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, David. Good to be here.
I wanted to bring Rob in because I'm absolutely passionate about his service and what he offers for his clientele in the travel and aviation sector. And I think a lot of our listeners, particularly our consultants, contractors, our candidates, and also our execs that are traveling both for business and also with their family, can get a huge amount of value from this. So thanks for joining me, Rob. I haven't given Rob a chance to look at the questions we're going to ask him, so it'd be great to see how he answers the questions and what value he can bring to our listeners. So, if it's all right with you, Rob, I'd love to first jump in. If people didn't know what Head for Points was, how would you describe it?
Head for Points is basically a way of helping you earn and spend your frequent flyer and hotel loyalty points in the most efficient way possible to maximize the value you get from them and to maximize the number you can collect in the easiest possible way. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best way to put it.
And just out of interest then, how would, if you were an exec and you were doing a lot of traveling, how might you benefit from loyalty schemes outside of the business, particularly for your family, for example?
I think a lot of corporate travellers really feel the pressure they put on their families, their wife and their children due to the time they spend away from home. Yep. And a lot of them see the loyalty schemes and the points they collect as a way of trying to reward their family, to pay them back a bit for all those nights they're away. So they're looking to use their hotel points for high-end luxury hotels for a nice weekend break or for a family holiday, and to use their frequent flyer miles either for free flights or to upgrade to business class or to try something different than you usually would. Try out new destinations, really just try and pay something back for the sacrifice the family makes. I know that sounds a bit cheesy, but actually, if you talk to people, that is actually what they want to do. That they understand what their family goes through to help put these points together, and they want to use it as best they can, and we can help them do that.
I think that's a really great point because I can actually relate to that personally about the nights I'm away from the family and the travel I do. Giving them something that's higher end and giving them a better experience. If you're a gold member of BA, for example, and all the benefits that comes with it, that's fantastic. Out of interest, in the loyalty game, and it's not just obviously the airlines, it's also the hotels, as you mentioned there. Could you mention maybe 2 or 3 of the favourite hotels in the world that are the best ones to use to maximise your points value?
If you do it on points. I haven't done all of these, but these are the ones that sort of generally recommended. The key with the hotel scheme is that there's normally a cap. So there's normally a maximum number of points you can pay for a hotel, irrespective of how much that hotel actually is for cash. So the best value ones often tend to be in places like the Maldives or Bali. Mm-hmm. So Hilton's just opened a new Waldorf Astoria in the Maldives, which these things are over well over $1,000 a night most of the time. So you can get that for 95,000 Hilton points. You're doing really well. There's a Conrad in the Maldives you can get on Hilton points. IHG Intercontinental has also just opened in the Maldives, but they have 2 very nice New York hotels, which will go for $500-600 a night most of the time for cash. Marriott, since Marriott bought Starwood, it's got some fantastic high-end resorts in there. There's a W in Verbier if you go skiing. I was in St. Regis in New York a few weeks ago. They've got the Gritti Palace, which is probably the best hotel in Venice on the main island itself. Hyatt, there's the amazing Park Hyatt in Sydney, which is the only hotel to overlook the Opera House. There's a brand new Park Hyatt in New York, which is fantastic. There's a lovely one in Paris, the Vendôme. So these are some of the ones which, if you go into some of those sort of hardcore frequent flyer websites, you'll generally see recommended.
And I like you mentioned obviously the skiing because often or not, half terms in the UK and in Europe are particularly expensive.
They're too expensive, yes.
Yeah, and I know that's also where you can redeem points as well to get your flight price down as well.
Yeah, we've done this for a few years now, actually. There's most British Airways Gold Card holders don't realise that they can effectively force open Avios reward seats as long as they agree to pay double Avios. Now, if you look at flights to Salzburg or Innsbruck over Saturday, February half term, you are looking at literally £500-600 per person in economy. Now, an Avios seat will normally be 9,000 Avios return. If you're a gold member and you call BA and ask for what we call a gold priority reward, they will open up the seats for you and charge you 18,000 Avios per person. But obviously that is just a steal compared to paying £500, £600. That's one of those little tricks which a lot of people, even if they've had a BA Gold card for years, simply don't know exists.
And that really is gold, to put the pun there, because the value of that is enormous.
I mean, for us, it's £2,000 that we're spending on flights every half term.
I will mention one hotel only because it came out of a recommendation a long time ago from yourself, and I got a lot of value from it, and that was the Marriott in Hua Hin in Thailand.
Yes.
And I like that because
that's a very nice place. Yeah.
If you've got kids, it's almost like a bit of a water park, all rolled into one.
Indeed, yeah.
What's the best? And maybe we might need to put some context around this first. What is the tier point runs, and what's the best tier point run you've ever been on?
A tier point run, just for clarity, is a flight you take primarily for the purpose of racking up British Airways Executive Club tier points, of which you need 600 to get a silver card, which is a minimum for lounge access, and 1,500 for a gold card. Mm-hmm. Now, there are ways of... You often get, you've got to be careful with this, because a lot of people don't like the idea of just flying pointlessly. Now, I don't actually recommend doing pointless flights. Mm-hmm. I won't say to you, fly to Amsterdam 3 times in one day just to rack up 240 Club Europe points. That's not worth it. Mm-hmm. What we focus on is places you might like to go, which just happen to be very generous on tier points. Mm-hmm. So if you look at British Airways, the cheapest BA flights are always out of Gatwick, and these tend to be holiday routes. So there are flights down to places like Malta or to Chania, Cagliari in Italy, which you can often get for about £250 return in business class over a weekend. These come with 160 tier points each because they are longer short-haul routes. Mm-hmm. That's roughly £1.50 per tier point. And if you can get, say, 400 tier points a year through your normal flying activities with work, mm-hmm. 2 weekends away to places, perhaps one in Athens, one to Helsinki, or perhaps Cagliari, Malta, a couple of weekends away like that is all you need to get the extra tier points you need to kick you over to silver. If you're looking long haul, the clever trick is to remember that the BA tier point system works by flight, not by trip. Mm-hmm. So the smart flyer, if say someone who's heading to Asia on business, if you have a choice of going direct on Bangkok with British Airways in business, or indirect with Qatar Airways changing in Doha, the smart thing to do is to take the Qatar Airways route. That means you're taking 4 flights, because you're changing in Doha each way. Each flight's 140 tier points. So that works out at 560 tier points. So that's almost a British Airways silver card mm-hmm. for one return flight to Bangkok, as long as you do it on Qatar. Mm-hmm. If you do it on BA, it's just one flight, obviously, so that's only 280 tier points. Mm-hmm. That's not even halfway to silver. Mm-hmm. If you're doing this with your own money, the smart way to do it is to start somewhere outside the UK. Qatar is not very price sensitive in the UK. They do offer some exceptionally good deals outside Europe. At the moment, there's some good prices out of Stockholm, Copenhagen, Oslo, Sofia. It's not that difficult to find a return business class flight to Bangkok for around £1,100 mm-hmm. equivalent out of, say, Stockholm. Okay, you've got to fly to Stockholm first. That's going to cost you a bit of money. But from there, you've got a very, very high quality business class product, far better than British Airways. Mm-hmm. You've got a very cheap business class holiday out of it, and you've fundamentally got a BA Silver card near enough at the end of it, which if you time it right with your membership year, can be good for 23 months almost.
You touched on British Airways there, and obviously their business class product. Obviously now we're in a period of time where that new product's coming out. How do you think that will impact the market, or do you think it's going to take some time to roll out?
To be honest, when we first saw the new Club Suite seats, for anyone who's not seen it, British Airways is basically introducing a very, very radically different business class seat. It starts on the A350s, which are being delivered as we speak. It will be rolled out on the 777 fleet from next year. It's basically fully private seats with a door. No more of these sort of double bed love seats in the middle, no more of people climbing over you in the middle of the mm-hmm. night. Every seat has direct aisle access, every seat has a door. It's a remarkable step forward for British Airways. Mm-hmm. Admittedly, it's only what Qatar was doing 10 years ago, but still, yep. for BA, it's very impressive. Mm. The problem is that this is literally a 5-year rollout. Mm-hmm. The factory can make 4 seats a day, Alex Cruz told me. There's 72 seats on some British Airways 777s in business class. So you can see the pace of refurbishment. Until BA can guarantee you that a certain route will definitely have the new seat, they can't put prices up and they can't really often do much in the way of advertising. So I think it's going to be quite a slow burn. And the 747s will never get the new seats because they're going to be retired in about 5 years. It's questionable whether the A380s will get the new seat. So it's not the end of BA's problems in terms of being uncompetitive in business class. It's the beginning of the end, but it's not the end by a long way. Perhaps in 5 years' time.
Now, I know if you read on forums or Flyer Talk or any of these other forums, there's a lot of people who sometimes put down British Airways. I actually enjoy British Airways, and if I look at the other airlines I fly with, I have a fantastic experience. And one of those is, being able to walk through 2 minutes in Heathrow, through the first class wing, into the lounge. What's the one thing, if you think about the experience that you've had being a gold member, or you might be further up than that, in terms of benefits that's really highly rated by your members?
I think, to be honest, British Airways Gold status doesn't offer that much above Silver. I think for most of our readers, if they can do enough flying, both business and leisure travel each year to maintain their Silver card, they're happy. And you get Silver, you're in the lounge, you can get a colleague into the lounge, your partner if you're traveling with leisure. You can skip through the fast track security line, which is not necessarily any slower than the first wing. The British Airways business class lounge at Heathrow is not substantially worse than the first class lounge. And obviously, it only requires 40% of the tier points to achieve it. And you get free seat selection as Silver. Again, it's, you get that as Gold. The only things I personally value as a Gold member over and above Silver are the ability to book any seat I want for double Avios, which, because we're tied to school holidays a lot, is actually something I use quite a bit. And we quite like the first wing. But the first wing, you can only go through with one guest. So my wife is just about to lose her Gold next week, actually. So even though I've got one, we still can't get 2 kids through. So we'll be back on the standard Silver fast track anyway from next week. So again, that's not. I think for a lot of people, they might look at earning enough to do BA Silver and then perhaps thinking about putting future flights elsewhere, rather than necessarily playing them for Gold. It's the same with the hotel schemes. You can either you can plow on for top level, but you might decide that it's better to spread your stays across and get mid-tier stays with 2 chains, rather than just having top-tier stays with 1, and then nothing when you stay somewhere else.
That's a great point. I do know, actually, British Airways did send me a very nice email for Christmas that got us all into the Gold Lounge, even though I didn't have 2 gold cards. So there is some silver lining sometimes. A lot of our we have a lot of contractors who might be listening to this podcast. A lot of them will be limited company contractors. There'll certainly be some of our clients as well. Just talking about card fees, I think that can be offset against their tax. Is that right?
Well, I do it. No one's questioned it yet.
That's true.
I mean, the truth is that a lot of the best credit card offers in the market do come with quite chunky fees attached to them. You have the British Airways Premium Plus Amex card, which is, in my view, the best one in the market. The best credit card on the market, full stop, let alone the best credit card, the travel perk.
The Amex Platinum or another one?
Amex Platinum has a chunky £575 fee and a very chunky list of benefits. And there is no right or wrong answer as to whether Amex Platinum is right for you. You have to sort of go through the benefit list and say, do I need Hilton Gold status? Do I benefit from getting into Eurostar lounges? Do I benefit from the discounts at 5-star hotels? Do I benefit from car hire insurance? Do I benefit from travel insurance? Different things work for different people. But the key is, if you have a card which you're using only for business purposes, then you can offset the card fee, of course, against your tax bill. Now, so for my Amex Platinum card, I use that only for company spending. That allows me to offset the entire fee. That makes the net cost to my personal pocket 50% lower than it otherwise would be. This is there's obviously limits. I mean, if you have £10,000 a year of turnover and you're charging a £575 credit card to your business, then you might as explain to do. For me, I've high 6-figure turnover, £575 for a card just disappears into the wash. So you've got to be sensible about it, but technically it's fully allowable.
What do you think's coming in UK loyalty in 2020?
There is a move in the industry, which I don't really agree with, which is to make redeeming easier at lower levels. Mm-hmm. This goes back to the idea that, millennials are simple people with 10-second attention spans, and they would prefer to redeem 5,000 Avios for £25 off a BA flight rather than 10,000 Avios for a one-way business class flight mm-hmm. to Italy or something. I don't necessarily think this is the way to do it. Certainly with the airline schemes and the hotel schemes to some extent, the more points you redeem, the more valuable a reward you can get. Mm-hmm. And if people suddenly start cashing out very small levels of points for a very small cash discount, a bit like how Nectar works in the mm-hmm. UK, yeah. I don't think that really gets people excited. When you speak to the loyalty executives, what they tell you is when people actually empty out their account for something really good, mm-hmm. that's actually what really inspires them. They cash out their points, they get a business class flight, or they get a 5-star hotel they wouldn't normally stay in, and they actually come back from that trip even more enthused about the program and more enthused about building up their points again. If people are just going to start cashing out their Avios every time they get to 1,000 for a £5 flight discount, that's never going to build the same sort of loyalty as collecting for a couple of years, but getting a really good, flatbed business class flight experience out of it. Mm-hmm.
Rob, I've got one final question to ask you. And you just mentioned there that you obviously got a personal number into Alex Cruz, the CEO of BA. Can you speak to him about getting a better aircraft on the London-Cape Town route? It's the only direct one. They don't have any competition, and it's a rubbish old plane. Why do they put those decent ones on a decent route? Why are those ones always the last?
I think that answers the same question, doesn't it? Let's be frank. There's a reason why the Club Suite is going on to Dubai first. Because it's up against Emirates and Etihad, actually, if you don't mind driving 20 minutes down the road. There's, fortunately, Cape Town is a primarily leisure route. Mm-hmm. The clapped out 747s, which are heading for retirement, have got to go somewhere, and that's where we go. That's unfortunately how it is. But, there's no, Cape Town's a funny one because obviously not many people fly there. The other airlines in Europe don't really do it. Mm-hmm. So South Africa is the worst place in the world to go on Emirates or Qatar or someone because instead of a nice overnight non-stop flight where you can sleep, you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning changing planes in Doha or Dubai, which no one really wants to do.
No.
So BA has a very captive market for the direct flight.
Yes.
And, frankly, people will take any old rubbish as long as it's got a flat bed and they can get 12 hours sleep. I did Cape Town for a weekend once with some friends, just for the hell of it. Because you can do it. You go down, it's 1 hour time difference. If you only get 8 hours sleep on the plane both ways, you can walk out the office, fly, up next morning, done, golf for a weekend, back overnight, straight into the office.
Yeah.
Very
fantastic.
Easy.
And it's a shame South African Airlines gave up their slot. I don't know who took it, maybe Virgin or someone, but that was...
BA's got that slot. It's only a 5-year lease though.
Right.
So South African can have it back.
That's interesting.
When they get back into a better financial situation. It's difficult for them. The problem with South Africa is that because you fly in the morning and you fly out at night, for South African it means putting a $200 million aircraft on the tarmac at Heathrow earning nothing for 10 hours. And the financials of that don't really work. If you're BA, you can offset that because it's, you're doing it against the whole network. But South African, if the more flights they did to Europe, they'd all be sitting around for 10 hours. Mm-hmm. And you need to be flying a plane 16, 18 hours a day to really make it pay these days.
Will the changes with Virgin, so, I'm curious about which loyalty should I go for? I say Virgin because obviously you've got BA and Virgin as the main ones. With the tie-up with KLM and Air France, how do you see that affecting that market, and will people start to move towards there instead?
It looks very interesting. It's very interesting for me because I have about 1.5 million Virgin miles between me and my wife, and we have no desire to use them all flying to the States. So the chance to cash those out across the KLM and Air France networks, especially to Asia or Africa perhaps, is interesting. I mean, no one knows yet how much it will cost to redeem for Air France and KLM, so it's not yet totally clear how it's going to work. But I think it's very positive. You also need to understand that outside London, a lot of people fly KLM. If you're living in Hull and you're travelling on business, it makes far more sense to pop down to Humberside Airport, fly to Amsterdam, then connect down to Bangkok or Tokyo or wherever you're going, then try and find some way of getting down to Heathrow and then go through Heathrow, which is a nightmare to change it. So KLM is substantially more popular in the UK regions than you'd imagine. I think once you can start folding those miles into Virgin Flying Club, there's going to be something quite interesting going on.
Well, we look forward to your first class family review on Air France in the near future then. Rob, thanks for joining me. Really great to find out a little bit of these insights. If viewers want to, if our listeners want to find out more about you, if they want to get your amazing daily emails, which I know come out at like 6 a.m. Off on my phone, that's one thing I always check every day. How do they sign up? How do they check out your website?
That's right. The site's at headforpoints.com. There are 3 articles every day. We only publish first thing in the morning. So effectively, if you sign up for the emails, then you get the whole thing, not an excerpt, the whole email in your inbox. If you're traveling on the tube, it's something you can basically read on the train in the morning. That's what a lot of people do. Otherwise, go to the site. Obviously, there's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., but you don't see everything there. The only way to see all the content effectively is to visit the site itself or sign up for the emails. It's all free. We're fully supported by advertising and small cuts on various things you might buy or sign up to through the site. But there's no direct charge to you as the end user.
Fantastic. And I've certainly got a lot of value from it. And thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Dave.